You grow the economy and you grow your tax base
Jack
by
Layton and
creating
Michael
economic
Ignatieff.
growth. That's what
Jack
we're
Layton.
committed to.
Speak the truth, Mr. Harper. We're actually proposing, instead of giving tax breaks like you do to the richest, most powerful companies in the country, the ones that gouge Canadians half the time, banks and what have you, we're saying lower the taxes on small businesses and help those small businesses to create jobs with $4,500 per new job created. That's what we're proposing. But nothing like you're suggesting.
The truth, Mr. Layton, is that we cut taxes for businesses, both big and small, several years ago, and the New Democratic Party voted against all of those tax reductions. The New Democratic Party will never cut taxes. It will always raise taxes.
Now, that's too much to hear you say that. That is simply too much, and it's not true.
Michael Ignatieff, please.
Mr. Harper, your numbers just don't add up. But our numbers do. If you peg corporate tax at 18%, you can save $6 billion. 18% is that $6 billion you can use to invest in education, a learning passport. The biggest boost that we can give to our economy is investing in the education of our children. And we can do this without raising taxes on ordinary Canadian families.
Mr. Ignatieff, every credible economic analyst, every major business group in this country says that if you raise taxes, you will hurt growth, hurt jobs, and hurt revenue. And that's the truth. And that's the path we do not want to go down.
You want to come back on that one more time? Go ahead.
But we need to roll back payroll taxes for small and medium-sized businesses to do the hiring. We've got unemployment rates among young Canadians at 16%, something that you actually haven't done anything about while you're in office. If we create an incentive to hire those young people from small and medium-sized enterprises, that's going to create 170,000 jobs. It lowers their taxes,
in the
Mr.
budget.
Harper. It lowers it.
That we're waiting for Parliament to pass. The Canadian Federation of Independent Business and to pass these measures to help hiring.
Gilles Duceppe.
One thing we'll oppose is taking $17 billion on 5 years out of the Employment Insurance Fund. This is exactly what the Flaherty budget's proposing, and sadly that the NDP and the Liberals are also for that measure in the proposals you've made. Look at them.
I hate to bear the disappointing news, but that's it. You have one more thing to do, and that is you get a closing statement. So again, we drew for lots for the order of speaking. Jack Layton, you get to speak first. 45 seconds to each of our leaders to finish off tonight.
Well, dear friends who've been following this debate, Mr. Ignatieff's party was in power for 13 years, and there were lots of problems and many failures. And then Mr. Harper was in power for 5 years, and again, many failures. They, between them, have, of course, real difficulties with our healthcare system. Our environmental record on the world stage is in tatters. And when it comes to the economy, you're having a tougher and tougher time to make ends meet. Now, you have a choice, contrary to what some might try to suggest, in this election. And you've got a great chance to exercise that choice by voting New Democrat and giving us the opportunity to implement right now new doctors and nurses, much more affordable life with credit card fees capped, and with new job creation programs, as well as protecting your pension. I urge you to support the New Democrats. We'll fight for you.
Thank you, Mr. Layton. Monsieur Duceppe.
Dear friends, the other leaders' actions prove that they do not really recognize Quebec as a nation. None of them has taken into account the Quebec consensus. I have the greatest respect for Canada, but Canada bases its policies on its own interests. Quebecers have the right to make their own choices. To do so, its policies on its own interests. Quebecers have the right to make their own choices. To do so, Quebec must become a country. But as long as Quebec is part of Canada, the Bloc will be there for Quebec. A Conservative majority will act against our interests. Stephen Harper hides his intention. We cannot trust him. The Bloc is still the only party in Quebec able to stop Stephen Harper. I invite everyone who does not want a Conservative majority to vote for the Bloc Québécois. Good evening.
Michael Ignatieff.
On May the 2nd, choose a government that respects democracy. Choose a government that respects the citizens' rights. Choose a government that focuses on your priorities. Mr. Harper doesn't have your priorities in mind. His priorities are jets, jails, and corporate tax giveaways. Priorities are to help Canadian families get an education for their kids at college and university with our learning passport, early learning and childcare for families that need it, home reno so that they can make their families more energy efficient, and restore Canada's proud place in the world. The choice will be between a Harper government or a Liberal government on May the 2nd. I hope you'll vote Liberal, but most of all, I thank you for taking part in this debate tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Ignatieff. Stephen Harper.
First of all, I want to thank Canadians for their honor and their trust as having served as their Prime Minister, your Prime Minister, over the past 5 years, including during some very difficult economic times. But it has kept us focused on the economy, on creating jobs, on delivering affordable benefits to people, and making sure we keep your taxes low. As a consequence, Canada, which was already the greatest country in the world, the best country, is emerging from this recession stronger and faster. That's why we're asking for a renewed mandate, a strong, stable, national, conservative majority government to focus on the economy. We have a recovery to complete, we have a job to finish, and we would be honored to do it.
Thank you, Mr. Harper, and thank you, gentlemen. And that ends this leaders' debate. We hope it shed some light on the issues facing Canada in these times and helps you decide how to vote on May the 2nd. A reminder that these same leaders will be here again tomorrow night to debate in French. And you can see that 8 p.m. Eastern Time on the TVA network and Radio-Canada. You can see the debate simultaneously translated into English on CBC News Network and CTV News Channel. I'm Steve Paikin. Good night from Ottawa.